Hey everyone, Greg from Second Amendment Sports and Defense. I'm out at the range this afternoon and I decided to take out our new IWI Galil ACE. Now this firearm has been on the market for a little while, a few months now, but it's just getting to the point where it's available to where you might walk into your local gun shop and see one hanging on the wall and make the determination of whether you want to spend the money and pull the trigger, so to speak, on it. So hopefully this review that I'm going to do here will help you in that decision. I didn't really plan on doing this. I just want to take it out, shoot it. I have a little over 200 rounds through it so far, and I have to say I'm very impressed. I just wanted to share with you some of the observations that I've made today. So first of all, if you're not familiar with the Galil, it's an Israeli-designed firearm. I mean, obviously, this is assembled in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, by IWI USA, but it is an Israeli-designed firearm built off the AKM platform. It's a very successful, very battle-proven rifle. The variant that I have is chambered in 7.62x39mm, which is a very available, very versatile, and affordable cartridge to shoot. There are plans in place for a 5.56 variant as well. I haven't seen any of those yet, so I don't know where IWI is in the development or the production of that, but hopefully you'll see them at some point soon. And this variant has the 16-inch barrel. It is available in a pistol variant as well, and obviously you're going to see SBR variants come from that as well. Some of the outward features to it, the muzzle device, they put what is very similar to the A2 birdcage flash hider that you see on the AR platform rifles. IWI went with a smooth handguard, and much like on the X95 Tavor, it slides away to reveal a Picatinny rail underneath, and that's true for the sides, the bottom as well. So the shooter can add a variety of accessories to it, lights, grips, and whatnot. Full-length Picatinny rail on top, so a wide spectrum of optical accessories can be added as well. And speaking of sights, the sights on it aren't bad at all. They're closer to the AR style A2 sights. Your front sight post is adjustable for elevation. Your rear sight aperture is adjustable for windage, and they do offer a large and small aperture. The front sight does have a glowing dot, and the rear sight has two glowing dots as well for firing in low light conditions. The stock is multiple position. The tube, however, isn't common at all with any AR platform that I've ever seen. It's not mil-spec or commercial or anything like that. It's kind of a triangular type tube, so you lose interchangeability there. You do have to use a stock that's proprietary, that's built for this firearm. The stock does fold, so awesome feature, allowing the firearm to be stored a little bit easier, but it also can be fired in this configuration, unlike AR platform rifles. So that's a nice feature to have. And getting down into the core of it, the Galil ACE is built on a milled steel receiver, so breaking away from the AK platform, which usually uses a steel stamped receiver. IWI beefed it up somewhat, again, milled it to greater specifications so that it definitely adds to the durability of the firearm, adds to the life of the firearm as well, and it's not going to be as susceptible to wear as your stamped receivers will be. It does add a little bit to the weight, but that's a compromise that I'm not at all hesitant to make there. Now the base of it, you'll notice there's a polymer base to it. This doesn't house any of the fire control group at all, but it does. It has the pistol grip and trigger guard integral to it, and they do offer some sort of a magazine well. Now this rifle does take standard AK magazines, but it acts kind of very similar to those funnel kits that you see for the AK platform, and really is helpful in that sense. And speaking of the magazine, IWI packages this rifle with a Magpul MOE AKP mag, and let's check that action here, make sure we're clear. It rocks in very easily. No real wobble to speak of. It fits very well. I've also had Tapco magazines in it. They tend to fit without a hitch. The magazine release, on that note, is an extended paddle style magazine release. So magazine changes are going to be seamless. there and a little bit more intuitive as well. Let's look at the action on it. First thing that you're going to notice, it charges from the left side. The charging handle is on the left side. So a little bit more intuitive for right-handed shooters, but also it's left-hand friendly. They did put that sliding dust cover on it, much like you see on some of the FN models, like the M249 SAW and everything. It helps to keep debris out of the action. One note too is the charging handle does reciprocate with the bolt, so take that as you will. That's just one of the facts about it. I'll discuss that, and I'll tell you my thoughts about that here in a little while when we close up. Okay, but at the same time they added this dust cover. They did remove the dust cover safety combination on the right-hand side of the receiver. The safety is still located in the same place, but they did, again, remove that dust cover portion. And what I have ascertained from that is their intent was to basically keep the ejection port clear from the possibility of obstructions at all, which I've had happen with AKM platform rifles. Also, that dust cover safety combo tends to snag on a lot of things, so they just removed it. The safety itself, it's I don't want to use the term stiff, but it's a positive. There's a positive safety. There's no chance that I can foresee anybody inadvertently deactivating the safety. And the safety is on both sides, so you have the traditional safety that you see on the AKM platform, but also they added a thumb variant. I do have to say it's because it's so different from what you find from the safety selector on the AR platform rifles. I struggled with this a little bit, getting used to it. But it's a nice feature nonetheless, because you don't have to take your hand off the pistol grip to be able to deactivate the safety. And it also, both sides operate from either side, and it acts as an indicator as to what position that safety is in. And finally, check our chamber again. The trigger, big improvement over the Tapco trigger groupings and fire control groups that you see in a lot of the imported AK platform rifles. Reset, very acceptable. It's an audible tactile reset, which is great for when you're at the range, just like I was doing a little while ago, plinking, taking follow-up shots as well, wearing gloves. It is a 2-stage trigger. It's a little bit of take up, and I would say probably a 5 or 6 pound trigger pull. It's not hard at all. So with that, I'm going to break away. I'm going to load up our magazine. We're going to send some rounds down range. I also brought an optic today, as long as I don't run out of daylight. I brought an optic. I'm going to mount it up, and I'll sight it in, and we'll see what kind of groups we can get at 100 yards. And see, how well the rifle performs from the bench. All right, I got 20 rounds loaded in my magazine. Got our IWI Galil ACE, and just want to throw some rounds down range. Show you a little bit about how it functions. I do want to let you know that I am using tool ammo. It's 124 grain full metal jacket, 7.62x39. It's steel cased ammunition. I went with that not only because that's what I had on the shelf at the shop, but also I realized in seeing some of the reviews of this on YouTube and whatnot, people were using a lot of times brass cased, real high quality ammunition. I'm a realist. The regular guy and gal going out to plink at the range isn't going to be using that type of ammunition. They're going to be using tool ammo, Wolf, Silver Bear, something like that. So I wanted to run that through the firearm and get a more accurate feel for its reliability there as well. All right, that wasn't a malfunction I had. That was another point that I want to illustrate to you as well. There is no automatic bolt catch on this rifle. That's typical for the AR, or for the AKM platform. But that's something that IWI really didn't address. So unless you're keeping a mental round count, which is difficult to do, a lot of people aren't used to doing it. There otherwise isn't any way to feel or otherwise audibly hear, when that last round has cycled through. So that's just kind of one of the quirks there. Not at all disappointed. I'm going to review the video here in a little while, but from what I could tell, you're always going to get some muzzle climb with a 7.62x39, but a lot less so with the Galil ACE and with AKM platform rifles. They did a very good job there. Don't really know the science behind everything, but again, I didn't feel like I was getting a lot of muzzle climb. It was reasonably controllable. I wasn't really taking my time here. I don't have I don't have anything other than the stock hand guard on it, no angled foregrip or anything what I'm used to. But again, it shot very well. In the mentioned earlier, I had a little bit over 200 rounds through it. That session, what I just did, zero malfunctions whatsoever out of the box. This firearm has performed flawlessly. So with that being said, I'm going to go mount up the optic, take some time, get it zeroed, and we'll see how it shoots at a longer range. All right, as you can tell, I'm kind of running out of daylight, so I broke away. I installed a Burris Mtac Scope on. I realize this isn't the ideal optic for this firearm, but I had one laying around. I sighted it in real quick. I'm going to be firing at 100 yards. I just want to see how well this rifle will shoot. From the bench, kind of get an idea of the accuracy. I will say I did check I had very, very, very tight groups when zeroing the scope, and I just want to fire 3 more rounds and see what kind of results we get. Walk down and see what we did. All right, so coming up to our target here, this is a sight-in target that I've developed. That's 300 blackout that I was shooting earlier, just messing around. Someone's probably 7.62x39 also. These 4 shots here, that was my last group that I made when sighting the IWI Galil ACE in with that Burris Mtac Scope. And just to remind you, this target was 100 yards. That Mtac Scope has a horseshoe reticle with a dot in the center, so not a precision optic at all. And you can kind of see the scale in my hand here. This sight and target that I used, this square here is 2 inches across in either direction. These were the final 3 shots, the ones that I got on video that I made. Highly impressed by this firearm. It's debatable whether it's going to be a sub-MOA gun. I tend to not think so. It was really designed to be a battle rifle. But I've had some really good reports from people about that as well. I just didn't have the setup today to test that. But from opening the box to this point right now, I've not been disappointed one bit in the IWI Galil ACE. I feel that it's a great shooter. It performs very well. Handles the ammunition very well. Again, I was using a 124 grain full metal jacket steel case tool ammo, so not precision ammunition. And to get these results, nothing to sneeze at. Alright, so before we wrap it up today, I wanted to take an opportunity just to show you how easy the breakdown and maintenance of this firearm actually is. So as always with all firearms, we want to visually inspect our chamber to ensure that it's unloaded. And we're going to start, just like with standard AK platform rifles, removing the rear dust cover, our spring assembly, and our bolt carrier group. Okay, and our bolt will detach from the bolt carrier group fairly easily. One of the nicest features about this, if you notice the absence of that trunnion style locking device that holds the piston channel into place, this doesn't have one. The piston channel removes simply by pulling it back and away from the firearm. It attaches via a dovetail and forward pressure from that rear dust cover. So definitely a lot quicker in the removal, a lot easier to maintain, and you're not busting your fingers up as we all have done with the standard AK. And that's it. That's field stripped. Obviously, you want to take the furniture apart and clean underneath your hand guards and whatnot. But easy access to the fire control group. That's one of my favorite features about the AK platform. Is it is easy to maintain, easy access to the action, easy access to the breech. Very good setup if you're not really into detailed maintenance of your firearm. This is definitely an easier alternative to an AR platform rifle, for instance. Okay, so going over some of our notes from today, some of the positive highlights that I found about this rifle: it performs very well. It is very reliable. Out of the box, I had from start to finish, I had a little over 300 rounds through it. Not one hiccup, not one malfunction. Not one failure to feed, failure to extract, failure to eject, nothing. It performed very well. And again, I was using that steel case tool ammo. It's not high quality ammunition by any means. So that was a fair assessment, I feel, of how well this firearm performs. And certainly with new firearms, you do expect there to be a few issues here or there in the break-in process. I didn't experience that with this particular rifle today. Also, the handling of it, very smooth. The action on it not only is very smooth, but how it performed, the lack of muzzle climb with it, and I attribute really that to the birdcage flash suppressor, the birdcage muzzle device that they included on it. The weight of the action as well, the weight of the receiver also has a lot to do with it. But I did review that video. Not a lot of muzzle climb. It was very controllable. I was able to stay on target and blast through a lot of rounds with it and really not drift much. But very happy about that as well. And obviously, again, as I just demonstrated, the maintenance of it is fairly easy. So some of the negative points. First and foremost, I mentioned this before, I have a tough time getting over that reciprocating charging handle. Certainly the technology is there to where IWI could have solved that issue. And it's no secret, that's an issue that we've battled for years, be it the standard AKM platform rifle, with a charging handle on the other side. But even more recently, models like the FN Scar, FN got beat up in reviews over just the fact that they didn't incorporate a non-reciprocating charging handle. And it's more of just an annoyance. It really is a safety issue as well. There are times when your fingers can get in the way. That charging handle can snag on clothing, on equipment and gear. So that's definitely a valid point as well. Also, it leads me to my next point, the magazine. It would have been really nice if this rifle had an automatic bolt catch, and that would require a modification of the magazine. And I can't fault IWI for that. They had to sit in a boardroom and decide, okay, are we going to allow the user to use magazines that are already readily available that they probably already own, or are we going to come up with a proprietary magazine, or maybe a modified AK mag, and force them to buy that for the convenience of having a automatic bolt catch. I can see where they were weighing the option. I personally would rather have the automatic bolt catch. It's a very nice feature, but they did what they did, so that's not much we can do about that. Last point, the price. The IWI Galil ACE, right now we're in fall 2016, has an MSRP of $1,899, which is pretty exorbitant. I'm not saying that the firearm's not worth it, but that is beyond the threshold of pain there as far as pricing goes on this class of firearm. So really, an individual's going to have to sit down and weigh their options. It is a much better it's a much better alternative to just, you know, maybe to even like the Yugoslavian pattern, or maybe some of the U.S. built, some of the better AKs, but it's exponentially higher in price than those models too. So, you know, I sell them in my shop a good $200 below MSRP, but certainly if you're out right now trying to buy this rifle, you know, across the country, you're going to find anywhere high 1600s up to, you know, up to probably $1,900 some dealers are asking for it. So, I mean, that's a decision you're going to have to make as well. And you know, we do see prices tend to fall over time as a model's been out on the market for a while, but I would say with the level of production they have right now, in the general lack of availability, they're still very hard for dealers to get. We're not going to see the price budge in you know, at least for a while. That's all I really have to say about this rifle. Again, my overall assessment, I'm very impressed with it, very happy with it. I would be proud to own one, you know, personally myself. And I have no reservations at all in you know, trying to convince a customer that this is a good rifle for them to buy. At Second Amendment Sports and Defense in Morgantown, West Virginia, we are firearms experts. And we call ourselves that not because we're arrogant or anything, but because this is our passion. We put our hearts and souls into firearms and into customer service, which is why we make these videos. So if you're local to North Central West Virginia, stop into our shop in Morgantown at any time and see, you know, what we have to offer. If not, visit us on the web at www.morgantownguns.com. And at the top of our website, you'll see a link to our Facebook page. Click that. Like and follow us on Facebook. We do post pictures of our inventory on there. We do provide information as well on there, so a wealth of knowledge available on our Facebook page as well. And again, as always, like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you have any requests for reviews on any firearms or any other firearms industry or related products, put that in the comments section below. Thank you for joining me today.